A very good day to you. I'm Howard Feldman. This is a Synthesis podcast, and it's absolutely wonderful to be with you today. We have some very, very exciting news and some wonderful guests that we are going to be chatting to along the way. Marsh Middleton, Michael Shapiro, and Brad Sachs will be joining us. We're going to do some introductions, and then we're going to be talking about why it is that we are speaking to them. Good afternoon, gentlemen. And Marsh, in particular, welcome. How are you?
Oh, thank you. Very well, thanks. It's nice to be part of the family at last.
Right. So what does it mean, part of the family? Responsive, joining the Capital Appreciation Group, and that is absolutely the announcement made last week, I believe it was. Very, very exciting. What does it mean to you, Marsh?
Well, I mean, starting a business 10 years ago and bootstrapping it from a garage, which all good things should start in life, humbly. Fading forward, getting to a stage where there are slightly bigger players in the market that we've gone up against as well. And we saw there's unique strengths in our business that complements their business. It's quite a journey. And I think from our perspective, it just adds so much more strength and credibility to our teams that we've built over the years. And eternally grateful and very happy to be part of it. So there are some changes, but the best advice from one of the directors of Synthesis was that run this like it's your own business, but know as well that there's a great big brother that understands and cares as well, that walks with you. So very much looking forward to it.
I'm glad Synthesis Director didn't say to you, know that there's a big father in the background too, who has a stick.
Sure, it's there as well.
Yeah. Absolutely right. So, Brad, now that you are that you are on screen, tell us what this means to the Capital Appreciation Group.
This transaction was a long time in the making. We met the Responsive team over a year ago, and there was great commonality between the way they presented themselves and their vision for the future and the way we saw ourselves as an organization. And over a period of time, the groups worked together on commercial opportunities. And I think the harmony between our perspective of life and their perspective of life was just evident. And so it took us a little bit of time to put all the pieces together, because you saw it was a complicated deal that had 3 separate acquisitions as well as an investment in the Netherlands. And we had to work through a whole host of things, some of it as a result of as Marsh says, bootstrapping along the way. And that just gave us great comfort that these guys were really committed. They went up against all the odds and were being very successful. And the product that they offered into the market was being warmly embraced by the client base. And many of the clients that they engaged with are consistent with the clients that we engage with. And there is no better validation of an organization than the reputation you generate in the mind of clients. And I think that's one of the things that Synthesis has been able to develop, which is why it has been as successful as it has. And we saw that too being evidenced in how clients spoke about the Responsive Group. And so from our perspective, it is a very synergistic, very complementary add-on to our existing offering. And I think it stands us in really, really great stead going forward.
Michael Shapiro, the Managing Director of Synthesis Software Technologies. What does this mean to Synthesis offering and ability in the market?
Thanks, Howard. We really warmly welcome Marsh, Andrew, Brandon, and their team to the family. And this means a great deal to our customers, new or common customers. The Responsive team is a very innovative fintech company focusing on the design elements, the user interface, the user experience, which is so key, critical, and important for any digital development today. So really complementary set of skills that we can offer as a combined force. Our digital team develops extensive, high-end, secure, robust internet banking or mobile banking offerings. And a small part of what we offer is the UX and the UI side. With Responsive's credentials, experience, and very strong team, we now have the ability to bring to bear to our customers some of these really unique and in-demand, globally in-demand skills that our digital projects will utilize.
When Mike was talking, he mentioned a number of other people in the team. Can you give me a sense of who is behind Responsive?
Absolutely, Howard. Thank you. Yeah, we've privileged to have a team that does both design and development as well. So we do digital product creation, and that really means a seamless combination between the design thinking approach, which is pretty much putting the user at the center, bottom line for us, and then building the tech solutions seamlessly with that as well to get to market and delight the users. So with that means that there's a team of very strong strategic and product designers, product developers as well, very strong team of developers behind that, different skill set and tech stacks. And I think from our perspective, we have complementary to what Synthesis offers as well in the development space. So techies, creatives, strategists, and incredible product designers, and people that love the future. And we haven't really touched on the global international aspect of it. And that's where the tinkering, the products, the Web 3.0, the NFT, the very hot new emerging trends are coming from as well. And that's with two of our team members leading the charge in the Netherlands.
So let's just talk about that. What is the vision, Marsh? What is your ultimate vision in all of this? What excites you really?
Yeah, we set out initially to build a business that's people-centered, Howard, and I think that's critical for us. Everything revolves around people. Not just your team, but also your customers and your customers' customers. That's the users, really. So our vision ultimately is to build a digital global business that exists to make a positive impact and that's human-centered. That's really all we're about. And I think the vision and the culture of Responsive over the years, and I think that's also something that attracted us to Synthesis and Capital Appreciation. The way that we were speaking was the same type of words were coming out. The heart was care, trust, build trust, move forward, add value. And it really is. I mean, from us, I could call myself the chief encourager in life because all our teams need encouragement, our clients need encouragement. If you engage with our teams, you'll feel a sense of trust, ownership, which is part of our culture and part of our DNA. And I think that really is over and above everything else that we bring. It's the heart and how we do business. I think that's really critical for me to get across.
Interesting to hear that is exactly, it's as though you are echoing so much part of the culture of the entire group. Brad, when you listen to this, I would imagine that this language and this approach to innovation and technology just fits perfectly within the Capital Appreciation stable.
Howard, as you often are, you're right. It fits perfectly within our view of how we think about it. As you hear Marsh talk, the one thing that you cannot ignore is the ambition within their objective to be a global digital business. And we saw that in the team, and ambition is something that we like. And their initiatives in the Netherlands, I think, speak volumes to that. As you know, we opened up an office in the Netherlands with Tom moving there in August of last year and adding 2 more people with new product and new initiative around advancing new technologies, talking about Web 3.0, talking about NFTs, thinking about blockchain related initiatives. It's just a great synergy between us and the Responsive group broadly. And so we're delighted that Andrew, Marsh, and Brendan have joined us and brought their team along with us. And we have big plans together.
Marsh, can you give me a sense of who the Responsive customer is? What makes somebody the ideal Responsive customer?
Absolutely. So an ideal customer for us is someone that wants to break into an innovative space and has some capacity and obviously the resources to put behind that, but really wants to create something from a user perspective that's going to be long-lasting and competitive in the market. I think that's really important for us. Now, that obviously a lot of the banks doing innovative things, that's great. Not the traditional aspects of banking, but the newer parts of banking. international companies, the likes of Shep and Brambles, that have redeveloped certain things with extreme complexity behind their systems, with global business rules. We get involved with that. Our teams then sit and look at the design components, innovation components, and we technically develop as an augmented team with them as well. So I think the market's shifting as well to a lot of people insourcing. So from our perspective, I think those global companies that are pushing the boundaries, that need technology and design teams, as partners, is really the key thing for us locally and globally.
As I listen to everybody speak, it's very clear to me that there's a lot of synergies with regard to culture. When I listen to everybody's background and obviously ideals. Michael, if I can just ask you, what are the synergies between Synthesis and Responsive?
Yeah, so Responsive, very much like Synthesis, is an asset-light, people-centric business focused on the fintech sector, with a huge amount of experience in innovation and disruption. So we see taking this combined offering to customers in the South African market. And then as Marsh and Brad have alluded to, our Synthesis Labs team is also located in the Netherlands, and they're busy exploring some of these emerging technologies, inclusive of the Web 3.0 technologies. So it just seems like when we uncovered more and more with the team around culture, around target market, around the way in which they're doing innovation, there were more and more similarities as we progressed. So we're extremely comforted by that and excited about the future prospects with Marsh, Andrew, Brandon, and a team of humble, smart, and incredibly passionate design thinking technologists.
Brad, what excites you most about this new way forward?
It gives me twice the excuse to visit Amsterdam.
It's a good, okay, not unreasonable.
Not a bad place to go. We had a great showing at the Money 2020 conference this past year with a team that went there, and it means that I will make my presence known at the next Money 2020 conference in Amsterdam, because it will be double the excuse. So let this be a warning to Tom that I'm on my way.
Absolutely right. Marsh, it's obviously daunting. It's always daunting. New situations are, it's a completely new world for the Responsive team, for yourself, but very, very clearly a very exciting way forward. What is the thing that excites you most?
Yeah, Howard, absolutely. I think really, I want to honor the people behind Capital Appreciation and Synthesis, just the way we walk the journey. The way they've approached us, Alan Solomon in particular as well, to all the amazing interactions. For us, it's all about learning, and the next evolution of learning for us would be with this team. And I think our teams echo that. It's going to be a lot of learning, a lot of reframing. So already our minds are going as to what's possible and how we fit into the greater group over time. So, but very exciting. Absolutely. The incentive is there for us to help Capital Appreciation grow as a whole, locally and globally. So we're definitely well aligned.
Absolutely.
Howard, I just want to make one comment, because I think Marsh made a really important observation. When we have looked at acquisitions, you can look at the business, you can look at the technology, you can look at lots of different things, but fundamentally it is about the people that are part of the business. Each of the principles that were involved and that were involved in our discussions with us have conducted themselves as absolutely fantastic stand-up gentlemen. There were some times that there were issues that were complicated, but we all dealt with them straight on with integrity and honesty and transparency, and that just is a phenomenal endorsement of our judgment in them and wanting to proceed. And I don't mean to compliment ourselves, but it really is one of the most important factors. And I have to tell you, Marsh, and you can take this back to your team, we are exceptionally proud to have you as part of the family. we welcome you with open arms, and you know that we really are a big brother, not a big father with a stick. And so if there is ever a problem or an issue, you know where to find us, and we're right there, right next to you to assist in any way that we can. So thank you for joining us, because you had a choice too. So we had a choice in whether or not to pursue the transaction with you, which we elected to do, and you had a choice to do it with us. So thank you for making the choice that you did.
Thank you, Brad.
Unfortunately, that is all we have time for. The idea today was just to bring you a very, very brief overview as to the relationship and why the synergy was so important. Marsh and Brad, as well as Mike, thank you for your time. Thank you for an awesome conversation. We will, of course, revisit this in some detail, talk to Marsh about some of the more technical aspects of the organization and their offerings. This has been a Synthesis podcast. I'm Howard Feldman. As always, don't forget to subscribe below. Let us know the topics that interest you, and we will do our best to accommodate them. Have a great week, and thank you for watching.